All right, everybody. Welcome to another review of The Oval. It is the mid-season finale. Now, if you like these reviews, please subscribe because I do reviews of every episode of this show. So let's get into it. So Alan, he's bursted in on Hunter and Ellie, and he takes a look and then he gets out of there pretty quickly. And Hunter's like, who was that? Who was that? Is he an intern or something? And Ellie just like she pretends to not know who Alan is. And Alan goes back to his office and Jason's like, well, I told you so. I told you what was going on. And Alan was angry and he was in disbelief, but at the same time, he says he knew it. Um, So Jason calls Ellie a total slut. Now, Jason shouldn't be calling anybody any kind of names. And Alan says she's not. She's not. She's just caught up. And Jason's like, well, she's not a very good girlfriend. Jason's like, well, she's been with Hunter 4 times. And Jason knows this because he's been creeping around, and that's what he does, and he recorded everything. And I'm like, you are sick. And then he's playing the video back for Alan. And then he suggests that Alan kill Hunter. And at this point, I think Jason is just trying. He's just trying to find somebody to do his dirty work. I mean, he offers to help Alan do it, but he just wants somebody to do his dirty work and kill his parents. And Alan just tells him, go away, go away. And Jason's like, I don't like people being mean to me. So I don't know if Alan is going to end up on Jason's victim list, but he does not want to be around Jason because Jason is nuts. So Ellie is this is back in, I guess, the press secretary office. Ellie is pretending that no, wait, this was in the hallway. Ellie was pretending not to know Alan, and Alan just put the truth out there that he is Ellie's boyfriend, and Hunter just was being so disrespectful and saying all these things about Ellie and tried to kiss her, and then she pulled away like that. And he told Alan he would make him vanish if any of that got out. And he was talking this way to Alan, and Alan is at the point where he has nothing to lose. So he could have just taken Hunter out right there and not cared about the consequences. So Hunter was pretty stupid for talking to Alan like that. Now, Hunter sneaks back in the presidential bedroom and he goes to take a shower. At first, I was not sure what Victoria was doing because she goes and she gets his pants. And she calls downstairs to somebody. She's like, is she still here? The girl, the stupid one. And Ellie had not left the building yet, so Victoria went down to find her. And that's right. So when Ellie was, she was trying to leave, after the whole, after all that conversation with Hunter and stuff, she was trying to leave, and of course Jason is naked and touching himself in front of her. And she just kind of looks like, after everything, it's like all she could kind of do was look like. Yeah, it's not much she could say. And so before Victoria gets to talk to Ellie, she runs into Jason. She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing up, creeper? And he tells her, oh, Dad is sleeping with the press secretary. And she's like, I know. Take your simple ass to bed. Jason says it back to her. Take your simple ass to bed. So Victoria, she she stops Ellie from leaving. You know, she and Alan were in that little like control room, like I guess where everybody checks out before they leave. And she stopped her and she brought her to the presidential bedroom. And Ellie's like, "What am I doing here?" And she pulls Ellie's dress off, and Ellie's like, "This is sexual harassment." And Victoria's like, "So is what you're doing with my husband." And Victoria's critiquing her. "Oh, you're nicely toned, but no ass." Um, and Ellie tries to say something, and Victoria's like, Shut up, dog. Did I ask you to bark?" So Victoria wants Ellie to empty her bag. Ellie does not want to do it, and so Victoria just empties it. And Hunter comes out the bathroom and he's like, "What's going on?" And Victoria asks him, "Where are your underwear?" "They're in my pants." And they were not in his pants. So this is what Victoria was looking for when she grabbed his pants. And Ellie had his underwear in her purse. And this is the way that you know that you are just like, a complete tramp, just slutty, all of that, is when you don't miss your underwear. How do you not miss your underwear? I mean, Hunter is just so caught up in sex. He didn't miss his underwear, and he didn't even realize that he was being played. So, of course, he's mad now at Ellie. Okay, wait, I forgot. When Ellie saw Jason naked when she was leaving after this whole mess with Victoria and Hunter. I got that out of order. And so after she's gone, Hunter's I think he's through with her. Victoria tells Hunter, "You're going to make some cabinet recommendations tomorrow. You're going to do your job." And because Hunter was like, "Well, your mother is dead now. We don't have to pretend anymore." And Victoria's like, "My father's very much alive." And Hunter's like, "Yeah, but he's very sick." And Victoria is trying to, get Hunter on the right track. And she wants Ellie fired. And so Jason ends up calling Alan about killing Hunter and Victoria, and Alan wants no part of it. He's like, "You know what? None of this." And so Ellie comes home, and she doesn't want to talk about anything, and she tells him to leave. She's like, "I don't love you," all of this stuff. And yeah, so that was pretty much it with the White House stuff. So let's talk about Barry now. So Barry was meeting with Daikon and the other Rakadushi guy, and they wanted him to open that bag. He opened it. There was a doll in there or something, and it turns out that Ruth was in the van. And she wants that money that was in the drawer, and I guess she's going to exchange their daughter for it. I don't buy it, because this is the Rakadushis here, and I don't think they're gonna let Barry have his daughter back. And one thing that my mom pointed out to me that Tyler Perry messed up with this is that Barry said to Daikon last week, "But Ruth is dead," and it was as if Barry did not realize that Ruth was alive. And we know that Barry, dragged Ruth to the police station and all of that. So he knew she was alive. He knew she was alive from the time that in the first season where they said, "Well, that was not Ruth, that was some other woman," and all of that, and it was animal blood on the knife and all of that. So she wants that money, and Barry's like, "Whoa," he's looking at her like, "What's wrong with you? You really would exchange our daughter for money?" So I don't know how all of this with Ruthless is going to tie together with the Oval. I'm really anxious to see that. Now, So Barry goes home and he tells Richard about, well, Ruth wants that money and I'm going to give it to her. And then Nancy comes in and, they're all dressed up. And Barry's like, well, did you two go out on a date? And Richard was sharing way too much. He's like, no, I went out with Frida and I was going to bring her back here and have sex with her. And I'm like, too much sharing, Richard. And so Barry, he goes into a rant, basically telling them to stop it. And when he leaves, Richard and Nancy have a little conversation, and Richard tries to be, diplomatic with Nancy. He's not yelling at her or anything, and he tries to be diplomatic with her. He says, I will Barry picky. I will turn your credit cards back on. Just please tell me who the father is. And she's like, I can't do that. And it's like, so back to square one, Richard cannot forgive her without knowing the whole truth. And he's like, my memory is very good. I'm putting the pieces together. I'm putting the dates together, all of that. I'm going to figure it out. And he really should just go to her crackhead sister and ask, because I'm pretty sure she knows. And all he has to do is slide her a $20 bill and she'll tell everything. So Miss Laura wakes up. And, well, let me get this out the way first, because Max and Bobby really have the shortest scene. So, some of the Rakadushi showed up at the cabin, and Max was like, he was just like really paranoid about who they were, and they just said, well, we ran from the compound, we just want some food. And Bobby ends up giving them food and sending them on their way, and Max is like, no, you shouldn't have let them go. I mean, what were they up to? And Bobby calls Max paranoid. Max is very paranoid because he's like, well, I can't sleep, because he wants to stay up, and he ends up wanting to stay up and be like, do a shift keeping a lookout. And he's like, I can't sleep with people sneaking up on us in the night and all of that. So that was it for that. So let's get into Miss Laura. So Laura, she wakes up and she asks her husband to call the chief of staff. And I'm like, bad idea to call Donald. They needed to call Priscilla, but of course, this is a Tyler Perry production, so, nothing is really going to be easy for the good side. The villains are going to get some kind of advantage, and Donald's getting an advantage here. So, so he calls up, they call up Donald, and Laura tells him, well, I saw Jean dead under the first son's bed. And she ends up asking to talk to Sam, and Donald's like, I'll send somebody trustworthy. And we know he's gonna call Kyle. And over there at Greg's apartment, Sam goes over there, and the police were trying to keep him. Well, you need to stand back. And, Sam's friend at the police department's like, it's okay, he's Secret Service. And Sam's friend from the police department is saying, there were 911 calls from here. And Sam's like, I want to hear them. And so basically, they are, the police are buying into the murder-suicide narrative. And, so Donald, let's get into Donald calling Kyle. So Donald calls Kyle, and he ends up asking him, like, who is over there? Because Donald knew somebody was over there at Kyle's place. And Kyle's like, don't worry about that. So Donald goes over there, and he finds Kyle in bed with Dale. And he's like, who is this? And he was going all like crazy girlfriend on Kyle. He's like, who is this? And he's asking Dale, who are you? He's all up in Dale's face. And I'm like, Dale, you've made a mistake getting involved in this mess. And so, of course, Donald wants Kyle to handle this whole mess with Laura, and 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 Kyle's gonna handle it, but he does not want Donald in his place. And he says, "You need to go. You need to go, Donald. You need to be gone." And Donald's like, "You can't love anybody like you love me." And you know what? And like I said before, this whole thing is really one-sided because clearly Donald does not love Kyle. Donald loves political power and all of that. That's what he loves foremost. And because he was ready to just throw Kyle aside once Lily came back and agreed to, restart the facade. So that's really what Donald is interested in, political things and all of that and the appearances that come along with them. So, so Dale wants to leave and he's getting ready to leave, but Kyle is like, no, 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 I need you to stay. Please stay. And so Dale stupidly agrees to stay. Now, Kyle goes over there to the hospital and Laura tells him, well, I saw Gene dead. And so so Kyle grabs his pillow and Laura's like, what are you doing? And so he puts the pillow over her face. So I don't know when the truth about Gene is gonna come out, but we know this thing is gonna drag out because a lot of Tyler Perry stuff drags out. So anyway, it was a okay episode. I thought there could have been some more plot twists and stuff in it since it was the mid-season finale, but it is what it is. If you got anything to say, drop a comment below. And as always, like and subscribe. And I will see you when the Oval returns. Oh, actually, I will see you when the Haves and the Have-Nots starts up again in June. That's the final season of that. 8 years of that we're going to be wrapping up. So let me get off here because I'm going on way too long. One more thing. I will be doing a interview with a newspaper or podcast. I'm going to do that on Friday. I don't know when the interview will be released, but when I do that and it's released, I will let you know. So thank you for watching, everybody, and see you next time.